related to Ghana and Africa. Our real estate company, Royal Consulting Solutions, is the foremost location for all your land acquisition, building needs, relocation, and starting a successful business in Ghana. We also provide quality information through our consultation and webinar series. We can be reached at royalconsultingsolutions.com. Come join the trusted source for all your reliable information. Hello, everyone. Just checking so I know who's here. So we'll have some few people trickling, and then we'll start with today's discussion. Eve, thank you for joining. Like always, if I do forget, just remind me of anything. So anyway, see some eyeballs coming in. Just checking so we know where everybody is, and so that we can, keep the tips going. So today I would like to talk about some of the tips that is going to help you with your land acquisition and also building in general, because I care about outcomes, results. Result is what is important. So we should be result oriented. So nothing will make me happier is to be able to some way or form help you accomplish that dream house and stuff like that. So if Eve's here, Behind is here, Temudachi Homes, thank you very much for, I don't know what time it is over there at your end, but thank you for just joining in and stuff like that. So I'll have the opportunity for people to also ask some questions and stuff, because the last time that I built, I started August 2012, and so to now, a lot of things have changed, and so you learn as you go, right? So I want to just keep you updated with some of the stuff that you have to be aware of, because what it will suck is you start this process and then something happens and you are not able to continue, sometimes for things beyond your control. Queen's Home, thank you for joining. Fred, it was good talking to you, brother, the other day. Thanks you for coming in. And so today is like, I'm gonna keep it informative. Sharika Kulov, thank you. Hope all is well. And so I'm gonna keep it informative for you, and also like I want you to mentally go through this journey with me, okay? Because I'm gonna put some emotions a little bit here, but it's all good. 2 a.m. Sunday. Thank you for staying up to tune in. Okay, so I'm gonna be dealing with the African Ghana babe, Bobby. Thanks for joining. And so I'm gonna give you like 5 tips, okay? And then we're gonna take from them. So number one, obviously, right? You've seen the land in Ghana and you are interested, okay? And I'm gonna use some of my real stories. Now I'm gonna share what works for me and what doesn't work for me, okay? And you can add it to your stuff. So you've seen this land and you are interested, okay? And so what happens is, obviously, you got to have somebody, help you on the ground. And you yourself, it takes patience. Patience. I'm gonna say patience 3 times. It takes patience. And the person helping you has some ethics, which is very important, and some experience, because it's tricky. Even the land, when you buy a land in Accra, then you buy in Cape Coast, there's no uniformity of processes. Okay, so some place there's a lot of investigation that has to go on, both from the land commission and also on the ground. So patience is important. And the guy selling the land might say, if you don't pay up, it's gonna go, next month it's gonna do all that stuff. But I wouldn't worry about that, because what I'm trying to avoid for you is to get into some kind of land litigation that most of you are not you are not going to be able to deal with that kind of stuff, okay? And so it's about taking your time, and sometimes you have to walk away. You lose that land, it's okay. There's another land for you out there. So it's patience. And the worst thing you want to do, you don't even have the land in your name and all that stuff, and all of a sudden it's like you start putting structures and all kinds of stuff in there. You got to be careful with that. I'll give you an example. For the second build, right? I saw that land in January last year. I went over there, I visited the site, I saw it. They gave me some interesting story, whatever. So, and I backed out. And then around April, one of my friends contacted me. We went back at it again. And so from April, we started the negotiations and the paperwork, and we wrote an agreement back and forth and stuff like that. I think it's only about September, October that we did a final payment, and we start working on our documentation, which mine will be available next month. So it took several months for me to get to the point I said, okay, that's good, because you have to do a lot of work. So as most of you have seen the foundation video that I've posted, you can see there was somebody actually previously tried to build. So that means something happened on that land, and they lost that land. So you have to be really, really careful. And so you have to be patient, and you find a good team that is helping you. You got to you got to be patient. Even when they do follow up, it still takes time. It is all in your best interest to be able to do that. You rush. Now, Ghana is not as easy as it seems, right? Okay. So you have to be careful about that. So that's tip number one, learn the process. The second one, which is going to make it or break it for a lot of people, is a reliable building team. The stories keep coming in. The horror stories, I'm hearing them again, about money issue, incompetence issue. Um, I keep hearing them. As of last week, I heard another one. Okay, so the reliable team is going to be tricky. So you want somebody that's ethical, reliable, and competent to deliver. That is very, very difficult to have all in one. It is very, very difficult because, listen, from the time you hit foundation to about you move in, it's about 42 steps that we figured it out. Between that time frame, it's a long time for something to go wrong. And it's not that something is going to go wrong, it's when it's going to go wrong. It's a matter of when and to the degree of what is going to go wrong. And sometimes, unfortunately, people are not able to recover from what usually happens. So you need a team that is reliable, and ethical and competent to deliver for you. So that's tip number two. Number three, cost, right? In Ghana, you're gonna get what you paid for. And people will always promise you they can get a job for half the price, if you get a coach from someone. But I can tell you this, no experienced, highly skilled team will build for cheap. It's not going to happen. Okay. And so what I want us to focus on is what you should be concerned is the value that you are paying for. What is it that you get back for this cost? Because we are all aware that sometimes we bought something cheap only to find out that was not worth it, that we have to go back and buy the quality product that we wanted in the first place. Okay. So it is very tricky, and it's all over the place. And I'll give you an example. And the reason why I don't put cost on my videos, for example, because I know sometimes people will be like, maybe he's trying to hide something. Now I got all my data. Okay. But the reason why I don't do that is because, for example, my foundation cost, right, is relative to all the provisions that I made. So when you watch the series on my videos that I'll be posting every week to a March about a building, just watch the process, the sequence, and also watch what it is that is in there that you don't find out in most of all the YouTube videos about building. Because it's something that I'm doing that maybe they don't find the need, or maybe they don't even remember it's an option. So that means my foundation is going to be a little bit high end compared to the regular stuff that people do, because I have 4-foot elevation. I have application of several damp-proof and waterproof materials. I have rebar retaining wall for the floating stairs. The engineers and I, we've talked about, how to make this thing structurally sound, because the blueprint was a wooden build, structure. So we have to figure all those things. So I'm gonna end up paying a little bit more. And if there was a cheaper way to do it, guarantee, I would have found that out already. So the thing though is, like, I'm not a fan of using unqualified people on my foundation work as a training opportunity. See, I don't want to do that. I want people that know what is going on, because foundation is the most important thing in the building. So I want the best people to handle that. That means you're gonna pay a little bit more, right? Another thing I don't put a cost in there is like inflation. Inflation is very, very high in Ghana. I've been tracking this for about 10 years. People charge things, however they want. And in the West, it's easy to calculate inflation because it's more like a national thing. Ghana is all over the place, and so when, for example, if I put numbers out there publicly, it will have no value after a few years, because the only value you may have is if somebody's trying to do similar thing around the same time. So because you come back even 6 months and prices are already start, jumping up all over the place. So even with the cost, you have to put things in context, right? Because sometimes people reach out to me and say, how much did you pay for foundation in your Kaswa house? I said, I was like, August 2012. It has no relevance to how much foundation costs right now. So you want to get quotes for what is the actual cost right now, because things have changed and it's going to cost you more. So that's tip number three, the cost, right? So first one was land acquisition process, a reliable team, cost. And then another struggle that is becoming a big problem is the degree of misinformation and disinformation in the public domain, right? So we're living at a time that everybody's an expert, without any real hands experience, or without a well-established proven record to back those claims. People will start something today, and all of a sudden, they are an expert in that field. So we don't value real knowledge, and we find it difficult for some reason to actually figure it out who has a knowledge base experience and who's simply, bullshitting their way through the whole thing. And so people are telling you what you want to hear instead of what you need to hear to move you from point A to point B. And so us too, we tend to gravitate towards those things that we would like to hear, and we use that as a sound advice to for this thing. But it's not true. It's funny because the people that admire me the most, is the people that have finished like those buildings, those dream homes, and or those that visit my home, and or those who are in the process of doing that, because they begin to understand that it's not easy to be able to accomplish that feat, not just on the money aspect, but the next point, which is the mental fortitude is going to take for you to execute these things, because a lot of people have started building, and like I said, the data is showing 25% of the people will never finish, and there's about 13 reasons why they will never finish. And so it is going to take courage. It's going to take some tenacity to get a job done, and you have to be result oriented. And when you are result oriented, you will go to the people that can deliver for you. You'll go and deliver for you, that because that's what you care about, the outcome. Okay, the outcome is who is it that's going to deliver this thing for me. And so the mindset is going to determine about 80% of your success, and 20% is going to be the financial burden. A lot of people think the finances is going to, no, you can run through that money quickly when people are doing all kinds of dishonest stuff. It's going to go fast like that. So you have to understand these things. So working with the right team is a necessity. Okay. So in 2021, I hope that your goal was to actually make a new commitment to your mind that this year you actually going to allow things of higher value, or things that are more practically you can measure successfully, instead of a feeling based, like a euphoric state of this intense excitement on some YouTube drama. Because life is passing us by. We age every year, and mother or father time has no is not going to wait for you. So you got to, at a certain point, make sure that, listen, I got to work with the real people and get things done for you, for myself, because I don't want to be taking 20 years building. Okay. 5 tips, right? So one, one is land acquisition process, a reliable team. 80% of the time is going to make it or break it for you. Chances are your brother or your good friend is not going to cut it. Cost, talk about cost a little bit. Degree of misinformation and disinformation in the public domain. Some are deliberate, and the mental fortitude to help you execute all your plans. Okay. So let me see. Buying the land is the easy part. Building the house. So let me put this thing here. Okay, buying the land is the easy part. Building the house is the mistake, unless it's done by 25 experienced professionals. Yep. So, it can be done, but I think the challenge for people is like, who are they going to allow to work on their project and that kind of stuff. And so, I'm a testament that it can be done with the right team. Okay, so let's do this. Yes. And and you have to, here's the thing I want people to understand too. Technology are changing, there's new ways of doing things. And so what happens is that our people do not like to adapt to new things. And so you want somebody who's flexible and engaging, who's also learning in the process. Okay. African Ghana Bobby, you have a question? So okay, I'm ready for your question. Yes, yeah, so people get angry when you don't tell them the cost of things. Yes. I mean, it's not about that, because for me, I can give you a cost, but chances are it might be a little bit higher, because like I said, the way I want the best and I want to build something for a peace of mind. I've gone to nice homes that have problems. From exterior, it's a wonderful home. You go in and problems. And I do watch some YouTubes videos, and I see and I shake my head sometimes, because it's gonna catch up with it will catch up, and it will start when you start living in the house. Then all of a sudden, you are going to find out, man, um, and stuff like that. So how do you get in touch with me? You can visit me at my website. Okay. Thank you, Evie, for the questions. Okay, so let me make sure I'm not missing anything. So you can put, right, you hear the chat collapse while workers were developing. Yes. It's funny because I even shared that image. Actually, not just one. I think that last year there was two to my engineering team, and even from visually, you can tell that thing was not even stable. And and and, and I'm gonna say this thing is hard for some people to swallow this, but the issue sometimes is that the value of human life um, is not much, because and people do all kinds of stuff. What the video that I'm going to post on March 25th, the last video of this project, there's a building, there's a crew that is building right next door. And man, and they're doing foundation work, and we were just shaking our head. And the interesting thing is, like, some of the guys actually came and did the trenches and stuff like that. But we have a standard that we have to go, and they are building the same size home, 4-bedroom. But the stuff they were doing, like, we were just shaking our head, and so the owner is like in another region, so the owner is not even on site. And so you have to be really, 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 really careful. You really have to be. Listen, wooden bit structure is different from cement block with loads and all that stuff is different. Is really different. The calculations has to be right. I think one day we spent 5 days just doing the calculation. How are we going to do? Because I have open concept. How are we going to maintain that flow and also structure? not compromise structure and integrity. So we had to figure a bunch of stuff, and we brought more people in there. Okay, we do this stuff, but eventually we got it right. So it takes a team, qualified team, to be able, to do that. And so I think this is really too pricey. Things keep changing all over the place. And Las Ghana, listen, they can charge you 35 CDs for 30 or 37 CDs cement bag and buy you the crappy. There are crappy cement on the market too, and you might not even have an idea. So I would say people have sent me quote to look at it and sometimes say it's too low. This thing should be like $2,000 more. I don't know what else they are going to cut corners, and you don't want that because you will end up paying for that. Do you build in countries other than Ghana? Uh, Not yet, not yet. But if the opportunity comes and everything is good, we will take a crack at it. Okay, but not yet. So let's see this thing. Go back. Okay, so do you help with getting land? I would like some in prom. I would like if I could entrust the whole process purchasing, building one place, company if possible. Yeah. So here's the land thing. We do land acquisition, but we are very very um, methodical where we like to go because it's difficult. So prom will fall within our range of where we want to take a look and see that. So the best thing is visit my website, book a consultation, and then we can get more information. Who do we need to meet over there and stuff, and then we send the guys over there, and we can work on the process for you. Okay. um, yes, because it's tricky. Oh, it's tricky. So it's not, because I know sometimes I'll be like, oh, he's trying to hide anything. No, it's not. I'll probably track, I have all my spreadsheet, all this stuff, because I want to know how much I always put on these projects and from year to year and all that stuff. So it's a business. I have a business too. You gotta track everything. So we have those information, that data. It's just like it gets tricky, because what does this cost even mean? And stuff like that. So these questions keep coming up. What do you think about airbag homes, which I've answered, I think, last week? Like, I don't even know the value of doing that. I think, like, so what is it? You put sand in bags, tie them up, and try to use it as a cement block structure. I don't know. And so here's the thing I want people to think about is, uh building is a long term, objective. And at the end of the day, what you want to do is, do you want something that you can enjoy relatively with cost, right? So sometimes what we are doing is something is cheaper, so we run it over there without actually understanding if that is really going to work for you. And so, like, another thing would be like, let's say a ramp F, right? Which I think is fine. But then the question becomes, do you really like the style, the model, those designs? Because you're not going to be able to pin them. Do you really like that, or because you think it's cheaper, that is why you're moving that route? Because the worst thing is building something that you don't like, and you are not going to be happy with that. So I think you have to really sit down and think about it. Not just cost is one aspect, but also if that is what you really want. Okay. But we don't build with F backs or anything like that. We don't have any desire to do that in the future. Okay. Unified cancel agents. What do we expect from them after payment? How long does it take to register land and get the interest? Okay, I'll give you like kind of like the general idea. This is kind of like a consultation question, but I'll give you the general idea. Regardless of who you buy, I don't distinguish between, because I bought from both. You can still have issues with both. So regardless of who you're buying it from, if I bought the land from my dad, I would not treat it differently than I bought it from a stranger. You will still have to go through your process. You still have to do investigation to figure it out who owns the land. The second land, I bought it from a company, but I went all the way back to find out who exactly they got it from. That's how I did my research backwards, to figure it out what, and I got some court cases in that area who that's I'm not trying to get myself caught up into some nonsense. So that's what I had to do. That's why it took me all this time. So assuming everything is good, you see, the danger is saying 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 1 month. No, take your time. Some places you can get information quicker, some it takes your time. So take your time and go through all the the checklist. So I'm not going to give you, should take you 2 3 weeks. So assuming, let's say you get everything is good, the land commission, everything is good, and let's say assuming 2 months, whatever, and then you start making your payment, then depending on who's working for you, it could take you a year and a half. We are able to get it a little bit sooner because we have relationships both in Cape Coast and Accra, and so we're able to get it between from the time you put everything in, we're able to get it about 7 months to 8 months max, right? That is on the fast track. Okay, so regardless of who you're buying it from, you still got to do your homework. There's no substitution. Okay. So when you say you make your foundation 4 feet deep, do you mean 4 feet below ground or 4 course blocks? So basically what we do is, usually when you do foundation, you're going to have certain number of blocks, can be 2 or 3 course down, but 4 feet is from like the ground level, like the soil, the topsoil. And so, but sometimes this is what you have to factor in, right? If the ground is a slope, so I have a little bit slope, so my back from the ground level, so on the ground, if you measure it, is 4.2 feet. My front is 3.5 because it's a little bit slope, and you want everything to level. So if you do all 4 feet, then then it's kind of like the front is going to be higher than the back. So you have to factor all that in. So when you're casting, you want your casting to be leveled. So you may get, if the ground, assuming the ground is flat, you may get a desirable elevation all around the property. But if it's a slope, then you have to make adjustment. Okay. The reason I did 4 feet because it's nice. Water issues, rain sometimes, flooding happens, and so you want to elevate that to avoid that in the lifespan of the building. Okay. And so as I post a couple of videos, you're going to see also some of the things that I did in my foundation. Okay. Paulina J, container homes, are they sustainable? I know container homes are popping up right now. Here's the tricky though. Here's the tricky. You must be careful about this. Those containers that are shipped with cars were not designed for livable conditions. Okay, according to the United Nations, right? There's a difference between building a container home specifically for human to inhabit, right? Because those containers have some chemicals applied to them. So you have to be careful with that. So you have to treat that, and you probably have to do a drywall all the way inside and the ceiling as well. So you have to factor that in. The worst thing is you living and breathing in some toxic chemicals. Okay. So do your homework and stuff like that. Why timber staircase is not common in Ghana but popular in Europe and stuff like that. I think that there's a couple of things. It's just competency, one, right? Also two, you also have to factor in where it is in Ghana because the environmental condition is very, very different as well. Okay. And you have to make sure that the timber is super dry because it's gonna warp, it's gonna open up and all this stuff. But I think that these are also opportunities for people to bring that kind of expertise in that to design, staircase. I've only seen cement and maybe metal, but I'm here to see the wooden aspect. Maybe I should do my floating stairs with wooden aesthetics, but we'll see. So it's not there because people, you have to execute them, and you need a team to do that. Okay, so if I let me make sure I didn't miss any questions here. Right, Kevin, I'm glad. Yeah, we are glad you are here too. Okay. So basically, what I'm saying is that factor everything in with the land issues and stuff like that. And trust me, just because you buy from a company, that doesn't mean there's no issues. That is not true. Some companies are better in doing that than others, but you may still have some issues. So you do your homework. It really doesn't matter who you're buying it from. Don't make it personal. It's just treat this thing as a business. And if you're gonna go, sign a contract, you have to really understand what it is that you're about to engage yourself in. So it doesn't matter if my brother owns the land, is giving it to me. I don't care, because people do sell their land to other people. People are people. So I'm still going to do my homework and make sure that you always protect yourself and not put yourself. Don't get caught up with, oh, the land price is going to jump and all that stuff. And people do rush. Take your time. Trust me. Take your time. We've been doing this for a long time. We still take our time to sort out all these things, because the day that you are building and you are fighting with somebody on the land, it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare for you. Okay. So we want you to avoid that. All right. So let me see. Um, Click the like button. So I don't even know how many likes we have. Subscribe. There's a lot of you who have not subscribed yet. So subscribe, please, to the channel. Share the information. I think is valuable to a lot of people out there. You never know, because sometimes people reach out to me. I wish I had this information about 3 years ago. So it's out there for you to. And my goal is to help you win, succeed. Take the emotion up aspect. I want the emotions to come after the first night you sleep in that beautiful home. And that's a long journey, but you got a team that were able to help you succeed. So that is what I'm about. So, and also have to protect you with the kind of information sometimes I put out there, because um some of you, it might set you back, and I don't want that. What I'm trying to say is that whatever that is, we can deal with it. Aspect of God. Okay. You have said take your time. So first you have to start process 2 years before you complete everything, and hopefully you get to move in. So do you mean, Marie, please elaborate. Do you mean the land process or the building process? Please elaborate, because I want to answer this question. Okay. Please elaborate. So what do you think about this when communities popping up all of Ghana? Do you think segregation themselves for locals are a good thing? Hey, Wolfgang. So here's the thing, and I've mentioned this briefly in the past, is that the only reason that segregation in Ghana per se makes sense is when the group that is doing that feel like they are in danger. Okay, so they have to isolate themselves or congregate or segregate themselves for some kind of protection. Protection. Now, if you feel like in danger, don't even go there and build anything. Okay. So for me, uh, there may be, what is the thought process? You go to Africa, you're going to reconnect. You go there to, and if you're going to reconnect, then segregation doesn't make sense, right? Or you are exporting some ideas from outside and you're trying to implement that over there. You see what I'm saying? So is the mindset, because I always say that segregation is not necessary, because in Ghana you can live anywhere. You are not restricted in living in a region. But I thought freedom was one of the reasons that you want to live and be able to live anywhere without being under the thumb of some community regulations. You see what I'm saying? So that discussion has never been addressed fully on YouTube because, and I've had consultation with people with that kind of stuff. So why do you want, you an adult, why do you want to be subjecting yourself to mandate some of these rules and what you can build, what you cannot build, this stuff you can do, other stuff. Why do you want to do all that stuff when you can go live anywhere and do whatever you want? Okay, so I just keep it at that. So, but I'm all about freedom and free choices. People can do whatever they want. So I meant from start to finish. So start to finish building. Okay, so I assume it's building, right? If not, just correct me. Money, so money is gonna. You can ideally, if you have all the money, 8 months, you can get it done. Okay, from bingo trenches, you have guys working on it, can get it done 8 months. But most people don't have two, 300, $400,000 right away to do it. So it's going to take them some time, which is, but the beauty about taking the time also allows you to learn the process and also see what new technology has come on, new appliances, new kind of stuff. So, there's a beauty in waiting, okay, and also maybe even look at your plan and make modification, okay. And so, but the good thing, the thing is start with a quality team because other than that, if you start with some criminals, sometimes women are the lead to give the job to their criminal husbands and boyfriends, is going to start, the problem is going to start right away, and you are not mentally able to follow through. Okay. The purchase of land and build. So usually the land process, if you're working with the right team from the time you look at it, do your investigations, pay the money, they start with the paperwork, you put it through the system, follow, you gotta follow, you know, weekly, stuff like that, a little bit over a year. Some places longer, but you have to follow through a little bit. But the building is all money related. On average, it's taking about 5 years for people to build. Okay. Question. So where are these communities? They're all over. They're all over. Mostly in Cape Coast and some Eastern region, all that kind of stuff. Is it true that when you buy the land from state developer, you don't get a land title in your name, but at least from the company? This is what I tell people to read the documentation. I am not buying a land that is not in my name, even if it's heaven. Okay, I'm not owning that. So you got to read. You got to get your things in your name. Okay, no, I am not even taking free land if it's not in my name. Okay, it has to be in your name. So you got to read the document, what you sign. How come it's not popular in Ghana to put iron rod grades on the cast? No, some people do, or some I've seen that some people do. They put like maybe 8 millimeter or something like that. Mat on the stuff. Some people do. Now, what I did was I just did the lentil and then we just cast everything. Or some people do. Not a lot, but I've seen a few. Okay. Okay, I know you said you don't give price code because of the application, but how much is normal plot of land cost? Normal plot of land cost, it can be from $100 somewhere in the bush for farming reasons to $500,000. You see how range that thing is. So it has to be location specifics. The land prices has gone crazy. Okay, people wake up and they just charge for no reason. Okay. And so it is location specific. And then we have to figure out even if the value is there for that kind of stuff. Okay. Okay, so again, I think, okay, I don't think segregation, but you don't have the ability to do this on your own. So if you want easy option, which is not a bad thing. Okay, let me take a crack at this. So usually this is what people don't understand this, right? Hmm. When you move to this community, no power, no light, no water, no infrastructure, it's going to cost you a lot of money. And so I tell people, have these people who are organizing this community come up with a cost of bringing all this infrastructure. Okay. Then you have to maintain this infrastructure. That's additional cost. So nothing seems like the way it is because it comes across like the community can do these things. And I said, there's okay, some of these people in the community are on fixed income. Let's say there's a monthly dues of maybe $150, $200. What if they can't pay because they have some circumstances? Are there penalties? Do they have to move out? So, it's deeper than that. Okay. So, and so, yeah. And so it's like, it's just, you can do whatever you want, but I'll be here. Okay. I'll be here. But what I'm saying is this thing, read the stuff well, because I've looked at some of these documents for the community, and it's a bad idea. It's a bad idea because there will be these costs that the people that are going there, I don't think are ready to pay for this amount of money. I don't think so. And if they knew the real cost, they're not going to get involved. Okay. So that is what I mean about transparency. With doors, with your device for interior, wooden doors, or chimney. So interior. Okay. Ideally, so your door should match the style of the home. So you have a modern, you do something modern. Um, it's like, so the Mediterranean. The reason why I did a local doors because the Mediterranean, I want to give some rustic feel. But this second home is a modern home, so I'm probably gonna get like a Turkish security 4 or 5 grade door. So external doors, secure them well, the maximum security. Okay, and then the internal doors, you can just get something that's like two or three. That's fine. In terms of the numbers are uh, in terms of the security grade of that kind of stuff. So, and the thing with the China made is there's variants. Some are like crap. Your dog can even beat that thing down, and some are downward. So you have to factor that in. Okay. So let me see this. What areas do you think are more conducive to farming? So farming too is ideally you want somewhere within 2 hours that you can check up on things. It's like Eastern region, Central region. If you're in Accra, you can make those trip and be back. You always want to be able to keep an eye on things. And so I'm not an advocate of buying land in the middle of nowhere and you don't have the capability to visit there often, because by the time you go there several years, something has happened to that land. So wherever that you are acquiring these lands, whether for farming or some real estate down the road, you want to be able to go and come back and see what is going on. So factor that in. Um, so anyway, so okay, don't want to keep this long. Um, let me see. Okay, there's some conversations going over there. That's fine. And so my goal is to used to. So I'm beginning the process again. I'm learning some few things. Uh, but I'm not gonna give you everything because I think some of the information you gotta service that. That is fair. And above all, when you pay for something, just what you should care about is the value that you get back. Okay, a Geo Metro is a car, a Bentley is a car. The value of a Geo Metro is not the same as a Bentley, so they are priced accordingly. And so that's the thing that I want you to factor in. So we are here to help you patronize the services. And we do take our time to do things because at the end of the day, um, we want to make sure it's done right. Okay. What is the price of land in Santo right now? It's crazy. It's like, what is it? I think minimum, maybe you can get 10K US dollars. That's minimum. But I've also seen like 65. So it's all over the place. Is a hot cake right now, and so it is going. I bought mine, and then in 3 months it went up 65%. The price. If you tell me to buy it now for that price, no, I wouldn't pay that. Um, and stuff like that. But the view, I get a good view by the lake and all that stuff. So prepared to pay, minimum about 20 grand over there on average. And you got to decide whether that is worth. The thing though is they need to, if they do the road, so the road is already done, except they have to tar the road. If they tar the road, that thing is going to like double, you know, it is going to double like crazy. So do you do project in Cape Coast? Yes, we do project in Cape Coast. So you can reach out to us and we can do that. I think after Accra, our most price is Cape Coast and Kumasi. Yes. Okay. So if I don't answer if I miss any of your answers, you can shoot me an email and then we can talk about cost specifics. I'm trying to avoid a little bit of the cost specific because then we can figure a bunch of things out. Because coping, even when we do a fence wall, we're gonna do coping, then we're gonna figure some things out. I always suggest the fence wall should have footings in there, not crisscrossing the blocks and stuff like that. And then we have to factor in because eventually we're gonna do wire fence and that. So there's always more to the discussion. Okay. And so thank you everybody. Make sure everybody click the like button, share the video. Stay hungry, stay focused. Okay, stay really focused. Hone in. Don't get distracted. Okay, don't get distracted. There's a lot of stuff going on YouTube. You stay focused and hone in on your dream and go succeed and win. Okay, and so then someday I can get opportunity to visit your house. So do you, and you can have opportunity to visit my place, and we can share ideas, and hopefully we can do something bigger on a bigger level. And so that is what I want for you. And the mistakes I'm making, I'm willing to share with you and help you overcome, overcome and win from January to December 31st this year. I want to make sure that substantively you have achieved something, whether you've bought your land, you start your project, and things are going well and stuff like that. Something that you can be measured. All right. Other than that, some people joined late, some Fox, and few people came. Thank you. It was a great conversation. I didn't want to be too long. And so share the video, forward it out, and the like button. Subscribe. Saturday, we're going to do a live stream. Every Thursday, I'll post a video, 8 o'clock, about the building process. Take notes, give you some ideas what you will want for yourself. That is going to factor in the cost, but it is a good thing so that when you build a house, you don't have problems because it would happen. Even my Kaswa house had problems that I'm remedying with a second build. Okay. So hang it EVD, don't give up. Okay. Let's talk. Okay. Don't give up. It's not, there's a lot of things that is going to happen, and I don't want you to give up. And you cannot make this excuse anymore. If you know who I am, you can't say that somebody's bidding for you and they're doing the wrong thing, or somebody's bidding for you and they took the money and all that stuff. We are here to help you. Okay. And like I said, nobody else coming in and say we did a project for them and we screw up and we didn't man up. No. Okay. So we are here to help you win. Okay. Sometimes these family members, they are wonderful. They can't cut it. Those guys, they are wonderful. They can't cut it. And so you want a team that's going to help you win. Okay. And then we are one of them. All right. Thank you everyone for tuning. I appreciate you taking the time, and you know where to reach me, royalconsultingsolutions.com. Take a look at the website. We changed some few things to make it user friendly for you, and then hopefully we can have you win and help you finish yours before I finish the second one. That is what I want. Okay. I said I was gonna go. One hidden cost is that the chief can take back the land if the diasporans don't develop the land fast enough. Smart man. I'll leave it like that. All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a good day. Bye bye.